Good afternoon. Sunday fishing for me. I've only got about an hour actually, but as long as your bait's in the water you've got a chance. And more importantly today, with the weather still cold and the water temperature rock bottom as well, that hasn't had time to warm up even though it's been a reasonable day today. As long as your bait's in the water you've got a chance. That's what I was about to say. Oh, just come off. That's a shame. I'll tell you what though, it's a very, very good sign indeed. That was a roach. That's my target as well for this afternoon. Right, let's get a bait out there again, and I'm sure I will be back with a fish. Before then though, a cup of tea. Always a cup of tea. Float's going again there. I've definitely got some roach in front of me, and of course they are shellfish. They're also very elusive at times. I haven't got a sucked maggot, so I can actually just put that bait back out. I'm fishing in about 4 feet of water, and I've got a small waggler, and I've got a couple of shot either side of the float itself, and nothing at all, because then the bait sinks naturally, and there is still quite some weed out there as well from last summer and autumn. Although we've had frosts, nevertheless still weed out there. I'm fishing with a maggot on the hook, and then putting a few loose ones out as well. Also very sloppy, as you saw there. Some extremely sloppy brown crumb. In fact, I've just mixed that second batch up. I need to put a bit more crumb in there. What you find though is initially it might be fairly sloppy, but then the crumb absorbs the water within a minute or so, and you get an idea of the consistency at that stage. Most definitely fish out there, because I had another little tap as well just now. Right, I will be back with a roach. It's not a big fish, but it means that I'm not a blanker. The second fish, it's bigger as well. That one, I can still hold it that way though. It's a nice roach, isn't it? I want to catch 2-pounders every time I go, but that's not possible, especially if they're not in the venue in question. But to catch, certainly at this time of the year, in a short session, well, that's what it's all about. Fish on the bank. I just had a really quiet spell after the initial roach every chuck, and I thought to myself, there's a pike out there. Anyway, I was putting some ground bait out, quite a bit that's spread over the area I'm fishing, and as soon as the first ball hit the water, I saw the pike. As the bait spread, the pike scattered. Let's hope it hasn't come back, and I'll get amongst the fish again. I've just cast out. It's a lovely afternoon. Oh yeah, and immediately the float dips there. Will this translate into a fish? I think it could, you know. The next little bit of action on the float, it's a small waggler, just a little orange tip sticking above the water. I'm going to strike. However, I'm not sure there will be, and there won't be. The maggot is intact though. I will go through the tackle that I'm fishing with, including the rod and the reel, in the blog entry. And talking of my website, I hope you like my new little signature at the end, quite literally. A little Parker pen note there. I decided to go for something a little different as a final clip on the videos. I do like Parker pens, I do like ink pens, and I've got a collection at home. I think I'll do a blog on them one day actually, because it's quite fascinating. That particular one, I've had that for a number of years, and I decided to just write and then speed it up because otherwise it would be just 30 seconds while you're just writing words. Speed it up to about 6-8 seconds. I think it looks quite good. That'll be appearing on my videos for a while anyway, until I decide to do something different. I am actually working towards having just a website as opposed to sharing things on social media. That's what I did pretty much for the most of last year anyway, and I decided come the end of the year to post on Facebook and Twitter and have comments here on YouTube, but just a time thing really. And I start developing. I think I'm going to go back to just the website, especially this year, because I will be part-time. I will be semi-retired this year because I'm 60 in a few weeks' time. So the plan is to cut back on a lot of things in life, but then maybe focus on others a little bit more. The biggest fish so far this session. It's a nice roach. Another plump roach. It's a nice fish, especially from the venue, and you always have to take that into account, don't you? It's quite decent. That was very profitable. I lost count of the roach that I caught, including of course the spell where the pike was in the swim. That was pretty impressive. It's all about the target, species, where you fish, the tactics. In fact, a man was walking along and he was surprised that I was fishing. He was an angler, but not very experienced and not that regular. He said, I thought the fish would not be feeding in these conditions. And I explained to him how you go for the right species, the venue and the approach, etc. Anyway, I enjoyed it. And if you are out fishing yourself in the next few days, tight lines, but above all, like I've done today, enjoy. If it's only an hour, make sure it's an hour at the right time, which is better than 4 or 5 when it's not.